gimmicks. Gimmicks always sounds like a bad thing, but it could be good. The Power Ranger seasons take advantage of this, sometimes too far, but overall the various series have come up with cool collectible aspects on top of the main stuff they do, from cards to batteries. It's usually something interesting, which is what makes it fresh.
Engine souls.
I know for saying the go-onger changers being a part of my worst of all time list, you're going, what? The souls themselves are a fine idea. The changers just needed electronics on their own. Other than that, I liked them. There were so many different types, ranging from special weapons, different voice lines, cheaper ones that came with other things like cakes, see-through ones, to them having voices of all the characters. You can mix and match stuff, so you can have Karagator and Busson, which they actually did in one episode, and each one had different types of artwork. They weren't lazy and didn't recycle stuff. They're pretty loud and you can goof off with them. Each soul has a nice personality, fun phrases, and good sound effects. Getting some of them is a pain in the butt, like Bumper Soul, and the fact that they run on 3-button cell batteries, so it's a pain to replace them. You don't have to get all of them. It's the season where you can go, the core 12 are good enough for me, but I really hated Bandai putting Bear RV with Highway Blaster. That weapon sucked.
Power coins.
I count this as one of MMPR's gimmick. It ended up being one when they merged 3 Sentais into one series. I still liked it, and nowadays the Legacy line capitalizes on the coins. The coins gave the Power Morpher something to do since it only opened and closed. We had the Core 5 coins, the oddly wrong Tiger coin given to the original Tigazord. I still love to know why they went with that design versus the correct Kiba Ranger emblem. Next were the repainted metallic colored coins from the movie figures. I had no problem with them, extra coins, different colors. But we never had the Ninjetti coins. Now with the Legacy line, we finally got those coins. What was up with this? We've waited 2 decades to get these coins officially. Bandai is a toy company, capitalize on everything from MMPR. This should have been going on in '95. We also had a soul set of the 5 main Dino coins, which works great for me since I only bought the Legacy Gold Power Morpher, now I can get the other 5 coins. And lastly, the Falcon coin and the White Ranger movie Morpher. I personally like the original Gold Chrome coins. I like the weathered ones too, I just think they're too heavy. The only thing left that they could end up doing is the damaged coins and Morphers from Always a Chance.
Hidden discs.
Bandai finally got it right. Have the items house the electronics, not the other way around. Let the discs just activate them. I thought it was really interesting that the images on the discs animate when spinning them on the Shinken Maru. Almost all the discs support that. The disc gimmick was integrated into the toy line really well. Nothing felt forced. You could even take out the Daikaios head disc and use it on everything. The discs were useful for 2 things. The main being the Inumaru. You can access all the sound effects when you put a disc in. Then you can use them as ammo for Daigoyo, Ibi Origami, Daizanto, and the Mogyu Bazooka. There were a ton of them, some being exclusive and rare, but again, if you didn't have all of them, it was no big deal. You get about half of them if you buy all the mecha and a few weapons. The only thing I hated was that there was no place to store them. Daigoyo only could hold around 10.
Action cards.
I didn't care about the game or the rules and the other stuff, but they did have some really nice artwork, especially the US exclusive cards. I regret I never got any of the Gokaiger or Megaforce cards. If the cards were offered in a complete set alone from everything else, I would have gotten them. But since I didn't really care for getting most of the stuff from either season, they just went on the wayside. I'm glad PR dabbed in the AVCHD area. Almost everything out there has done it in one way or another. There was a ton of potential in it. If it was a part of a better looked at season, I could have seen them continue the line.
Dino chargers.
I love these things. It's such a simple gimmick too. Looks like a battery, has a flip image for some interaction, different types of artwork, some being collector's versions, other seasons, special power-ups, sparkly backgrounds, and they get red in the Morpher. They were perfect. Yeah, there were a ton of duplicates, or you hated the ones that you wanted came in those dumb sets, like those weird pop can ones, or with those extra Zords that weren't in the show. What are you gonna expect? That's how toy companies work. You don't like it, I don't like it, but we gotta live with some annoyances. I really have to commend Bandai for making the Charger collection set. It's not every single Charger out there, but a really good chunk of them, and the majority of the ones a person would want. The box is really great, a giant Charger itself. I just wish Bandai would switch back to closable boxes again. Those card backs really suck for collectors. One final note, what was up with them using the wrong abbreviations for Overdrive and Lightspeed? Yeah, I've typed out LSR many times before I realized it was one word, but how do you list Overdrive as OOD?
Armored Ranger figures.
A lot of these are exclusive things that the toy line gets usually, with a few exceptions being the Mega Battle and Lightspeed, but I really like most of them. Some of them can be stupid looking, but I think they would have worked great on the show, especially ones that have the whole team done. What makes them different from Legend Mode or Swap Mode? Just not being in Japanese footage? Oh yeah, Bandai has cranked out really dumb junk for the toy line just to get rid of overstock or padding, like all the different versions of red capsular cycles, or those weird cars or flying vehicles. PR is not Batman. You can't throw anything at them, like the headless Titanus in the Space toy line. But Battle Armor, that's core PR. And Space had different battle lasers that were made for Black, Blue, and Silver Ranger. They also had snap-on armor for the entire team. SPD had different dogs for Green and Blue. Lost Galaxy had those Explorer armored figures. This is all the stuff that could easily be in the show, but we end up getting dumb ATVs and 3 years of that semi-mobile base nonsense. That money could have gone to this type of stuff.
Head plates.
The best thing about the Morphers in Dino Thunder was the head plate swapping feature. That was a cool idea. It gives you an extra reason to get all of them, even though all of them are great. They have different sound effects, the Japanese version having more original sound effects, and Dino Thunder released the Mezzodon head plate. I never understood why Japan never did that. Every other head plate was made there but that one. But the US never got the Max brace. I never understood what goes on between Bandai US and Japan. I looked at it as both sides were doing deals between the two. You get the Mezzodon headplate while we keep the Max brace. The cool thing is that all the headplates work on all the Morphers. You can even interchange the plates between the Japanese and US versions. The only thing that they lack is that nothing else uses them besides the Triassic shield. I'd love to get every single headplate, but those silver and gold ones made for Hong Kong's line, I'm never gonna get those.
Automorphing figures.
I've loved these from day one. Yeah, the figures are bulky, so the shape of the body looks weird, but I love seeing the actors' faces. It's the only way we get helmetless Rangers. These lasted for years, from MMPR to all the way to Turbo, just under a different name. Then it stopped, then every now and again they did it again, then stopped again. I don't get why they do that. Seeing the Rangers not morphed is the rarest thing that the toy line does. Even Japan at one point made them. I really miss them. I wish they would be a permanent staple to all the seasons. Instead, we get junk like Cam's flying dragon car that appears in the finale out of nowhere. The standard basic figures have their places too, but these are great as well. I would love to see the Legacy line do them again and for all seasons.
Katakuri balls and shinobi medals.
We got two gimmicks in one. When you buy the Katakuri balls in Japan, you also got the shinobi medals. More stuff for the changers, more stuff for the mecha. It was a bit weird that they put a repainted Ninja-Con with some of the power spheres in the US version. I thought it was pointless that the set should just have more power spheres. These things were great. They're all mini animals and weapons made for all kinds of things. Fans, swords, ice cones, mini lions. Plus they had to fit in these small balls, so they had vending machine style collecting. They also had all kinds of special versions, some being really ridiculous to get. The cloak, stamp, and clear versions for Furemaru and Tricondor being the worst ones. The stamp has 6 versions to itself. It was a miracle that we found a box of 10 stamps and the ink still works after 14 years. Collecting these alone is an option too. They aren't dependent on the mecha. Storing them in 2 of the 3 robos was a nice feature. The only drawback with these things, the balls can't stand still, so they roll around easily, making it hard to display them. And when you want to put them on Revolver Mammoth, most of them have no connecting points, so they fell a lot on me. B being the worst with no stand.
Ranger keys.
Well, this is not a surprise. These are the best gimmick PR/Super Sentai has ever done, except this stupid chest. The Ranger keys allow the Super Megaforce team to become past Rangers. What more can you want from an anniversary? The keys themselves are really fun. They don't try to be figures. They're shaped in a way that works as a key, and having over 200 Ranger keys in Super Sentai, plus the tons of extra ones done for various limited editions, promotional magazines, Christmas episodes, it was quite hectic to get them all. Not to mention sifting through a ton and ton of Gokaiger Reds. That's the only negative I can give the line. Bandai Japan thought, oh, only the Red Rangers will sell. Let's just make key sets for them. Then they released a complete team of Go Ranger, and their idea blew up in their face. Because of this mess up, we had a ton of doubles. Late releases or no releases at all. There's no complete set of Jew Ranger, for example. To get them, you'd have to buy the Candy Gaship and Key versions along with Gokaiger Spear and the endless doubles of Tyranno Ranger. Those versions aren't bad. You have to assemble them or put the stickers on. The shadow area is a sticker. That can be annoying. But these things lasted for years, even entering Go Buster's line. Eventually they did fizzle out, with the exception of the premium versions of Kyoryuger and others. I just hated they made those keys for Kamen Rider. If the keys were released properly, fine, let O's have them. But they go and make keys for one team-up movie, and at that point, we didn't get everything. I did get fed up with collecting them due to all the nonsense in getting keys. Some are rarer than others. This even happened in Super Megaforce. They only released 3 keys in a pack. Titanium Ranger and Wolf Ranger were exclusive to PMC. That was the one key I wanted from the US set. By the time they released it regularly, I stopped caring. But still, the keys are the best gimmick that they've come up with. I don't see anything ever challenging them, but I do hope that I'm wrong someday. Does PR go overboard with gimmicks in recent years? Oh yeah, it's obvious that they make a ton of money from them, so they won't stop all that much. For the most part, I'm okay with them. It gives you more value on stuff you collect. And I really like seeing all the types of displays people make for Ranger keys. What are your favorites? Or do you hate gimmicks, period? Think they're money grab or force you to buy stuff that you wouldn't get, like belt buckle sets? And if you have an idea for a future topic you'd like me to do, leave a comment down below. Next week, I'll be starting a month-long run. The bad seasons of Power Rangers get a lot of frustration and hate, so I'll be listing the 10 good things to each season, starting with Operation Overdrive.